Hello, Britain students. I am Joshua C. Victoria, aka Josh Tuckles, from my name Josh and Adventure. Welcome to my English class. That there were amusing, lively, and enjoying lesson for today. Let's get to it. Are you guys ready? I'm heard you are ready. So let's do this. Before we proceed to our discussion, let's play a game first. I have here a set of jumbled letters. All you have to do is arrange it, and it will give you a hint to our lesson. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer each item. For item number 1, it is to prevent the spread of an infectious disease. For item number 2, it is designed to manipulate perception or real facts. For item number 3, it is the person receive medical treatment. For item number 4, it is the ability to understand the importance of something. For item number 1, it is to prevent the spread of an infectious disease. The answer is quarantine. Number 2, it is designed to manipulate people's perception or real facts. The answer is fake news. For number 3, it is the person receive medical treatment. The answer is patients. For number 4, it is the ability to understand the importance of something. The answer is comprehension. Let me see if you got all the correct answers. You nailed it, class! I'm delighted that you perfect all the jumbled letters. I have here an article that connected to our lesson. In this part, I want you to read it with your eyes to relax your mind and understand it well. As weeks went by, the only show that people were waiting on their television screen was just the news of COVID-19. When will the ECQ be lifted? No one knows. It started into 2 weeks and for a long couple of months, and finally the month of August came in, when the Interagency Task Force, or IATF, lifted the quarantine to Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, or MECQ. The purpose of the said decision was to try to save the economy. Some establishments were finally seeing a light after a long sleep. Some workers worked differently from their respective professions. A lot of them became online sellers, food delivery personnel, either Grab or Foodpanda. And some of them tried to establish their own business. The internet slowly became a medium of communication, food orders, transactions, bills, and a way to cope with our boredom. In November, a cure was finally developed. They said that it would just a time and everyone will be vaccinated. Unfortunately, the virus evolved and formed other classifications or variants. Some were more infectious and deadly. Some experts said that it was more deadly as it evolved with the help of the ecosystem of the infected person across the globe. But as time went by here in the Philippines, the restrictions were getting lighter and lighter. The virus is deadly, but on the other side of it, we saw camaraderie, we saw unity, and we saw how the system of our allied medicine personnel works all day and all night.
When I first heard about the news on COVID-19, I was just relaxing, but everything just changed after the announcement from the palace. It was unexpected that ECQ or Enhanced Community Quarantine was implemented to the entire zone after 48 hours. It felt like the world just stopped for a while. The next day, everything was rushing, groceries were full, and the entrance line was exceptionally terrifying. Limitation for purchasing necessities was posted, and if you're lucky to enter the grocery after just a few hours it's open, you would see empty trays and columns. Hallways were full of people who were lined up to pay for their baskets and carts. Even the sari-sari stores were empty. Everyone was preparing for the 2 weeks to zone-wide quarantine. Filling up their cabinets was the number one goal at that moment. When the quarantine started, the world seemed slowed down with empty roads. There were no shows on TV, and only the sirens of ambulance and barangays mobiles were the sounds we were healed from the homes. It was like a zombie apocalypse, or even worse. Hospitals were on high alert. All staff of every hospital was required to wear a PPE or personal protective equipment before interacting with patients. Days after, the number of infected patients bombed every hospital. I remember that every hour there were 2 to 3 ambulances which were passing by. Each municipality also provided a quarantine pass to the chosen family member who can go outside. She must present the pass in every grocery, drugstore, and other businesses. Temperature checkers were also installed at every entry establishment to ensure that people who are entering each establishment would have temperatures not higher than 37 degrees.
Here are the right questions. For number 1, why do you think the palace announced that ECQ will be implemented in Luzon? Letter A. Everyone is in panic because of the zombie apocalypse like environment. Letter B. Everyone is in panic because of food scarcity. Letter C. Everyone is in panic because of the announcement that Enhanced Community Quarantine or ECQ will be implemented. Letter D. Everyone is in panic because of the announcement that the first COVID-19 case was reported. The answer is letter C. 2. What can be inferred from the passage below? In November, a cure was finally developed. They said that it would just a matter of time and everyone will get vaccinated. Unfortunately, the virus evolved and formed other classifications or variants. Some were more infectious and deadly. Some experts said that it was more deadly as it evolved with the help of the ecosystem of the infected person across the globe. Letter A. Vaccines can reduce the chances of getting infected or infecting other people. Letter B. Vaccines can increase the chances of infecting others and getting infections from other people. Letter C. Vaccines can cure COVID-19 patients and reduce the chance of infecting others. Letter D. Vaccines can improve our immune system. The answer is letter A. Vaccines can reduce the chances of getting infected or infecting other people. Number 3. What does the line below imply? The virus is deadly, but on the other side of it, we saw camaraderie, we saw unity, and we saw how the system of our allied medicine personnel works all day and all night. Letter A. Healthcare workers are being underpaid despite their sacrifices and hard work. Letter B. People are setting up community pantries for the less fortunate people. Letter C. People are helping families to move their house from one place to another. Letter D. Frontliners are being labeled as the new real-life heroes in our generation. The answer is letter B. People are setting up community pantries for the less fortunate people. Number 4. Which section of the newspaper will you most likely read this piece? A. Lifestyle. B. Business. C. Opinion. D. News. The answer is news. 5. What did the municipality provide to the chosen family member who can go outside? A. Vaccine pass. B. Quarantine pass. C. COVID-19 pass. Letter D. Quarantine ID pass. The answer is letter B. Quarantine pass. Our lesson objectives: A. Classify various information in the daily conversation. B. Use of information in news stories as well as lectures that may apply to an everyday dialogue. Letter C. Honing essential skills for reading comprehension. For letter D, to extend their perspectives, generate some reports of have a conversation with them. Our lesson proper called Essential Skills for Reading Comprehension. Number 1, we have decoding. So decoding is one of the fundamentals reading in comprehension. Number 2, we have fluency. To master fluency in reading, students must first recognize letters and words instantly as soon as they saw it. Fluency speeds up the rate of reading and understanding a given passage. Next, we have vocabulary. The ability to understand one word depends on how many words you can recognize and understand. Familiarity with words is essential in this part. Having a wide range of vocabulary makes a reader more efficient in reading, fluent, and a higher rate of reading speed. Next, we have sentence construction and cohesion. When ideas and details fit together clearly, the reader can follow and read it easily. Cohesion means the ideas are tied together smoothly and clearly. Next, we have synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning but gives different a variety of word choices. Next, we have pronoun. This, and those are very useful pronoun when someone is referring with something previously mentioned. It can also be used in inferring an entire sentence or paragraph as well. Next, we have transitional words. Lengthy texts are hard to read and recognize, especially if you can distinguish whether a sentence was correlated with the previous one. Transitional words can help us to identify where is the end and the start of the thought or idea. Add reasoning and background knowledge. Background knowledge about what you are reading draws your inferences, which also develop critical thinking and makes reading lighter and enjoyable. Inferences is the ability to understand the text without all of the information being spelled out. Lastly, we have working memory and attention. Working memory and attention are both key to achieving new information. Attention gives the reader focus, and working memory makes the information have sense. Decoding has something to do with the language skill named Phonemic Awareness. Phonemic Awareness is part of a bigger umbrella named Phonological Awareness. As Phonemic Awareness is concerned, in order for a young learner to read a word, she must first identify the relationship of words and sound. For instance, in order to read Ken successfully, she must know how to pronounce C as K, A as and N as N. Fluency. One of the essential and fundamental techniques to obtain a higher level of reading comprehension is to read different books with different level of word selections. Example of vocabulary. Playing words games is a suggestive practice to enhance this skill. It will increase the level of your vocabulary unconsciously and having fun at the same time. Coherent devices. It is the repetition of a key term or phrase. For example, we all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common to humanity matters more. Synonyms example. I'm already aware that this building will be gigantic from the start, but after the construction, I cannot believe my eyes with this spacious museum. Synonyms, for example, gigantic and spacious. Example of pronoun. Vaccine. The vaccine efficacy was questioned even before they got shipped here in the Philippines. Example of transitional words. Example, however. Vaccines are highly recommended by most of doctors across the globe. However, the rumors about the negative side effects and people who died on it makes other people decline the vaccines. Example of reasoning and background knowledge. The wind is cold, the sky is a bit dark, but it is already 3 p.m. I guess it will rain sooner or An example of working memory task includes holding a person's address while listening to directions on how to get there by the way. I have here an activity. All you need to do is to match the various type of text in column A with the corresponding meanings indicated in column B by writing the correct answer by writing it on the space provided. Number 1. Background knowledge. Number 2. Transitional words. Number 3. Synonyms. Number 4. Attention. Number 5. Pronoun. I'll give you 30 seconds to answer this activity. Number 1. Background knowledge. What do you think is the answer? The answer is letter D. It draws inferences and it develops critical thinking that makes reading lighter and enjoyable. Number 2. Transitional words. The answer is letter C. It can help us to identify where is the end and the start of a thought or an idea. Number 3. Synonyms. It is words that have the same meaning but gives different variety of word choices. For number 4. Attention. The answer is letter A. It is used when someone is referring with something previously mentioned. Number 5. Pronoun. The answer is letter A. For your assignment, what are your experiences with the pandemic and how can you acquire information from news to assist you to broaden your horizons concerning the pandemic?
Our discussion is about to come to a close, but first, let's take a look back. Today's topic is essential skills for reading comprehension. This topic encompasses a wide range of abilities including decoding and other skills. On the other hand, those abilities will aid us in widening our reading horizons. It can be demonstrated by reading it and comprehending these ideas. That concludes our discussion.
So let's recap. For decoding, one of the fundamentals of reading comprehension. For fluency, students must first recognize letters and words instantly as soon as they saw it. 3. Vocabulary. The ability to understand one word and depends how many words you can recognize and understand. Sentence construction and cohesion. When ideas and details fit together clearly, the reader can follow and read it easily. For coherent devices, repetition of key term or phrase. Synonyms, same meaning but gives
different variety of word choices. Pronoun. It is when someone is referring with something previously mentioned. Transitional words. Help us to identify where is the end and the start of a thought or idea. 5. Reasoning and background knowledge. Background knowledge about what you are reading draws your inferences. Working memory and attention. Attention the reader focus, and working memory makes the information have sense.
Congratulations! I'm glad that you're paying attention during today's talk. You nailed it, class. I'm sincerely hope you have gained something knowledge today. Thank you for taking part. Before we call it a day, give yourself a great clap. Do you know how to do a wonderful clap? Okay, let's do this. Say 1, 2, 3. Stop, repeat. 1, 2, 3, and say wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, have a rest. I'm Joshua C. Victoria, and I'm here to help you. Thank you.